Oh my gosh, we gotta talk.
We are talking school supplies. Have you bought your school supplies?
Of course I bought my school supplies.
I bought mine last night.
Roll the intro.
Roll that intro.
Normally, so this year we moved over the summer, so I'm actually behind on getting my school supplies. Normally I start like mid-July, just acquiring things. The list is long.
When do okay, so Brittany has older daughters, middle school, high school now, and
Right.
I have then younger kiddos. This is now the second year that we've had to like actually purchase school supplies, and so I'm still just trying to figure out how it all works from a mom's point of view. So like I know like the teacher's point of view, but from a mom's point of view, it's a totally different world.
It is, and I am so excited to talk about this because you have the teacher perspective, and I've always wanted to know the teacher's perspective on this.
Okay. Do you guys print them off like this? Like this is okay. So this is what I did. A good friend of mine last year, Chelsea, teacher in Little Elm. She's like, Kristin, did you get your school supplies yet? Because this is the way to do it. So you go on Target. Love Target. Put in Brent Elementary and first grade. All the supplies are there.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yes, it was so easy. And then even like on like the spiral notebooks, you can pick out what color you want of spiral notebooks or what size you want to, like they make it so dang. I swear I bought the school supplies in less than 5 minutes.
I feel like I have wasted my life like for years now. I do like Amazon or I'll go to Walmart and just, you know.
Like they already have the list uploaded. Here's all your 10 things you need to get. You go buy. Submit. The thing I did wrong though is I didn't check the cart on Target, and now I have to go pick up the supplies today instead of them delivering them to my house. That was the one mistake I made. But
that's not awful. I mean,
yeah. Okay,
you could go
tell us. Well, I feel pretty good about what I did.
It's amazing. I want to discuss the supply list. Disclaimer. I love teachers.
She really does.
I am in full support of teachers. I'm here to help teachers. I am. But I would really like to know what is happening with these lists because every single year there are things that we buy that are very unnecessary. And I don't know how all schools work. I just know with our school, or at least this is how I understand it. You like, let's say third grade, okay? All the third grade teachers get together and they make a list, like a group list. And they say, okay, this is for all of third grade, and they submit it. But each individual teacher may not necessarily need all the things on that list, but there's no way to decipher that. So you buy everything on the list, even if they don't need it. So this is where I get kind of a rub because I'm like, if you need it, I'll buy it, you know, or buy extra. Like if you want, if you don't need, let's say,
Ziploc bags.
Ziploc bags is a great example. If you don't need Ziploc bags in your room, then I will buy you an extra thing of Clorox wipes because we all need more Clorox wipes or more glue sticks or more crayons.
This year.
It wasn't on the list, interestingly. And I know some teachers who would want that on their list.
Okay, so I'm thinking, so first of all, where did you get these at? Did you print these off?
Yes, so this is not our school. We're not naming specific schools, but this is our district.
So I agree with you there. Not all teachers need the same thing. And that's been a discussion amongst teachers for years now. I know at least in our district. And I think a lot of parents don't know about what it is that you know of the plethora that we do have of certain things, especially teachers that have been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And the manila paper and the Ziploc bags or the baggies like seem to like we have so many of these things.
I hate buying manila paper. I hate it.
That's not on the list this year. Just so you know, it's not on the list. Do all the teachers need the same thing? So thinking like art supplies, like one teacher might really do lots of yarn projects and she wants or he wants yarn. Well, that wasn't my thing. I would rather have like Crayola markers than have like yarn. Like, so each teacher does something differently, but I agree. It really should cater to the teacher itself.
And I don't know how to solve this issue. Like, how do you, like, let's say if I was a teacher, because I had a brilliant idea. I had an idea.
I have an idea too.
I have lots of ideas. So first of all, on the list, I printed out first grade, fourth grade, and middle school, just to kind of get the different groups. First grade, I feel like there's really not much to, like, it's a grip of crayons. Obviously, you're going to go through a lot of crayons. It's a grip of glue sticks, which makes sense. They go through a lot of glue sticks. I think that's pretty much true through all of elementary school.
Now this is interesting. Okay, so the list that I saw on Target didn't have like the boys and girls thing.
Okay, yeah,
okay.
I see that every year.
But yeah, I feel like, and I also feel like we're kind of getting to that time where we can't do. Are we allowed to politically do boys bring?
Oh, I don't know.
This, girls bring that. I don't know either.
That's a good point.
That did cross my mind though. Okay. Anyways, I was just looking to see if that kind of compared to the list I saw. That's the same list from Target.
So one thing I will say on here on the first graders, and I think fourth grade did this too, where so here it has 2 boxes of washable markers. I have another point about markers. We'll get to that later, but for the sake of right now, the 2 boxes of washable markers. One of them's for the classroom. One of them is for art class. Thank you. Okay, you want 2 boxes and it's going here and here?
That didn't say that on Target.
So okay, as art teacher, because I've seen that before where they go, this is one's for the classroom and one's for art class.
Ever seen that before? No,
do they ever bring you
sometimes. And that's another thing. So then teachers get this heaping of supplies. You don't know who's brought things in and who hasn't, or who's going to and who won't.
Yeah, because nothing is like labeled. It's all...
Nothing's labeled. And it's also like, then you take the time as a parent, understandably so, to label each one of your child's things. But it really just ends up getting, at least what I've seen, gets put into a pile for everyone to divide. It's a community thing. And so... Yeah,
there's 2 different ways to go about this. And depending on your school, depending on what grade you're in, depending on, I don't know, the teacher's preference maybe. Some will have community stuff where, and like if that's the case, please indicate that that's what it is so I know going into it.
So true.
This is like for everybody. And then there's this is, you buy supplies for your child. You know, so.
I think that would be a good
like I'm not really opposed to either idea. It's, you run your classroom with what works for you. And if it's easier for you to have a community, or if it's easier for you to everyone be responsible for their own stuff, fine. Just let me, as mom, let me know what I'm doing here. Okay, so this was my idea. What if you do like a restock twice a year?
Ooh.
Okay, so you start the year off going, okay, you need 12 pencils. And then again, like in November or December, say, okay, it's what did I call it? Restock week. We're going to take an inventory, like you're going to inventory all your stuff. Like what are we low on? What do we need? And then send that home to mom and dad and say, okay, your child needs a restock on X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Bring this in by this time. Or is that like not feasible?
I think you also have to look at your demographic and who it is that you get to work with. Because I think that might be an issue.
Part of it.
Like gratefully, I don't think that's an issue I know it's not an issue for you or for myself. Like if a teacher needs something and they're asking for it, I'm going to get it for them. Like that's it. My sister lives in more of a affluent area. And you know what they do? Because this kind of gives more power to the teacher then. She just writes a big check. All the parents just write a big check at the beginning of the school year. They don't have any fundraisers. They don't ask for any more money throughout the year. Here's $200. Don't ask for me for any more money. That's that.
I would do that.
You do what you want to do with it.
I would absolutely do that.
And I think then that would cut back then too on like teachers getting more of what they want.
Right, and what they need.
What they need, right. Yeah. And so but for more of a Title I school, I think that's something that's
a little bit trickier.
Yeah, it's a little bit trickier. There's also too, like we are just making, and it's not just little LMISD, it's schools everywhere. We are making our class lists yesterday. We were finalizing class list yesterday.
Yeah.
School starts, a few days from now. And it's like, it's just, so then like I would think, logically thinking, your child's teacher emails the parents, hey, this is so-and-so, welcome to the classroom. These are some things that we're wanting your child to bring in this year, and make it more personable, and then bring them in, and everybody's gets what it is that they need and want, and we're not wasting money or time trying to look for these things. And
right.
But yet, real world, kids aren't registering until a day before, or mid-semester. Like, you just don't know.
Why can't teachers have just their own individual list for their classroom? Why does it have to be the whole second grade, the whole fifth grade? Why does it have to be everybody?
I think it's more of just being unified and making it simplified. Put in, like, because I don't know Grace's teacher. I don't know my child's teacher yet. And so, that being said, like, so I went to Brent Elementary first grade, but I know she's going to be in first grade. I know she's going to be at this school. But that kids don't even know. Teachers don't even know who they have yet.
Yeah,
like they don't even know the kids.
So now, so this year is our first year going to high school, and there's no list for high school students. And so I called up my resource, which is my friend Lori, who has her fourth child is now going through high school. So like she knows everything.
Lori knows everything.
And she was just like, yeah, they go. You just send them in with like, some pencils and pens and, maybe like a spiral. And like once they get in there, each teacher will have like a syllabus and here's just what we need for the class. And then you can start acquiring the stuff.
And maybe that's what we need to do.
Yeah, like why can't we just do that for all grades? Because
ding, 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 ding.
All right, I have a bone to pick with composition notebooks. Every year, we need 7 composition notebooks. In first grade, you just need 3.
Oh, 3.
This says 3.
Oh, God.
Any color. But then, fourth grade, it's 7. 100 pages. Middle school, 7. And the black marble ones, no colors.
What's your peeve on this one?
Well, okay. Before we moved, I took a stack. I'm not exaggerating, people. I literally like this of used composition notebooks from previous years where they have used a quarter of it and then not the rest of it. I'm like, do we really require one whole notebook for when I was a kid, we had binders. Everything was in a binder, and you had
Do kids use binders anymore?
I have not seen a single. Grace has used binders, but it's not on the list. Again, she gets in class, and teacher's like, "Oh, you need a binder."
Okay, and I can see that being more of a high school thing.
Sure, or in middle school, yeah.
In middle school.
But like, do you remember Trapper Keepers? Like, we had binders as kids.
Trapper Keepers.
Oh, my Trapper Keeper. I don't like that there's so many and then they don't really get used all the way. So in third grade, we had Miss Sweeney, and Miss Sweeney did something I thought was really brilliant.
Okay.
She took the composition notebook and literally cut it in half. So you have the book, right? The spine is here, and she cut it in half. Now you have 2 subjects from one book, and way more of that got used than if we had a whole book for this and a whole book for that. Again,
there you go. That's brilliant.
I'm not opposed.
Way to go, Miss Sweeney.
She's smart. I'm not opposed to buying the books. It's fine. Like they're not super expensive. It just feels so wasteful. And like some years I've even gone through and like ripped out like, oh, we only used like 5 pages. Rip it out, start over. But they write all over the front. Oh, this is for math.
Okay.
So.
We need to do a DIY for repurposing composition books.
We so do.
Being a middle school teacher for a while, art teacher, granted, we never used composition books.
Yeah.
But I see the need for them.
Yeah.
I see why they would ask for 7 composition books. I would see the need for that.
Composition books
7
are
different
pretty,
subjects.
Like if you just want a book where you're not having to turn in the paper, it makes a lot of sense because it's going to hold together.
Yeah, and then kids are going to lose the paper and then deal with a whole nother issue.
As opposed to spirals that are messy or loose leaf paper that gets torn or lost or whatever. But like, okay, so here's the other thing. Moving on to the next issue.
She was very passionate about doing an episode on school supplies. So I'm so glad that we could.
I had a mom friend actually text me yesterday. My youngest, her oldest, are going into middle school this year, and So looking at like all of the things that the middle school kids are supposed to bring, and she's like, so I didn't hear them mention anything about lockers. Are they gonna have to like carry all of this in their backpack every day? And I say, yep.
Wait, let me see that list.
After doing this a few times, like I understand, like give it a couple days and then do a reevaluation of what each teacher wants, because you've got spirals, the composition notebooks, and loose leaf and folders. Well, this teacher probably wants a composition notebook. This one's like, I just need a spiral or whatever. Like, so you can eliminate a lot of the stuff. And I also told him, like, do not send all 12 pens or all 12 glue sticks. I'm like, don't, like, just do like 1 or 2 and then replenish as he needs it to cut down on your weight, because it's ridiculous. And I said, if there's a teacher that wants to have like community stuff, they'll tell the kids and you can send it in. But
well, then too, I remember in middle school, then you had these kids the first day of school bringing all of these supplies in, and went on top of everything else that they have to worry about and be concerned about and carry.
Because that's how it works in elementary school. You bring in all those supplies. Yeah.
And maybe that's just our district. I don't know. I don't know enough of other districts. I don't have enough knowledge. Chime in here. How does your district do supplies?
Tell us how you guys do. Because I know when we were in Vegas, we did 2 years of school in Vegas, and it was the same thing. We brought in community supplies for the classroom, like on Meet the Teacher night or first day of school, just drop it all off. So I guess it makes sense that kind of is your mindset when going into 6th grade, thinking that that's how it works. And some teachers do want to have, like, they're like, please bring me a box of glue sticks. Like, we're going to go through them. Bring me the box. Okay, fine. But the loose leaf paper gets me, because I'm like, there's no binder. There's not a single binder on this list. Yeah. But yet you want loose leaf paper and you want 4 packs of it. Where am I putting it?
I see, in that case, the teacher is going to take that for her classroom. Like, she's not gonna.
Yeah, and if that's it.
Like, we're always running short on paper and always running short on pencils.
I guess again, it goes back to what I was saying before about, like, I just wish I knew like how this was working, because I have no problems buying 4 packs of paper. Yeah. And if you know what, we need Laura
Ballinger here. Where's Laura Ballinger? She lives down the street from me. We should give her a call.
We'll talk supplies.
I mean, I bet you she's done this teaching thing for a long time. She would have something to say.
She would know. Back to the washable markers. Okay. I polled. I did some research.
We're just gonna let her talk today. Keep going, Brittany.
Well, okay, so every year we buy washable markers. And I'm like, all the papers that come back around, it's not very often I see anything with markers on it. I'm like, where are the markers going? So I asked both kids, I'm like, in your entire school career thus far, how often do you use markers? And Grace, who's my oldest one, going into high school, says, well, sometimes we use markers, like in middle school. She says sometimes we use markers, but the teacher would provide them. Like, very rarely would we pull out our own, because she would just give us markers.
Well, where do you think the teacher gets the markers from?
Well, that's my point. I'm like, so, like, are kids giving her the markers? Because, like,
chances are, again, they're gonna put all the supplies together that they get, then they're gonna divvy it up amongst who it is that needs the
like
supplies.
In their team. Yeah.
So, like, a lot of times the art teacher, it might not say it on the list, but I received the markers. I received the pencils, or at least half of them. I received the Sharpies. And so it might not say it on there, but a lot of times that's where a lot of those supplies went.
And I will say this, like, I don't feel like any of the supplies are being wasted per se. They're all getting used eventually. I just feel like if you have a surplus.
Except for those baggies. We have tons of baggies.
Don't even get me started on bags.
I don't understand the bags. So then sometimes people do like the sandwich bags, and that's what people like don't prefer. Teachers don't prefer the sandwich baggies. They're not too small, but it's like you can't put stuff in there and stay in there. They want the seal.
Oh, they want some little heftier.
Yeah, they want the quality.
Yeah. One time, I forget what we were doing, but I had a teacher, she was just like, oh yeah, just grab a Ziploc out of my cabinet. And I opened, I mean, it was like, and it's a big cabinet, people. It's big. And I'm like opening it up, and here's, from end to end, top to
See,
bottom.
and you know what? A lot of parents don't know this. A lot of
No, if
parents,
you're not in there, you don't
A lot of
know.
parents don't do or know what it is that we know, Brittany. So we are just trying to.
We're here to help.
We're just trying to help everybody. We love all people.
I don't know if
help people.
I don't know if I'm really helping anybody other than just ranting though.
I think we might be helping you sometimes. That's okay.
Getting it off my chest. I mean, as a teacher, given everything I just spewed, like, where do you stand on this? Mom and teacher.
I think just keep treating teachers well. Keep
Be nice.
keep just giving them. If they ask for something, just give it to them.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I just, this past week, just being at school and just the teachers, you could just feel things are heavy. It's just heavy, just lots of stuff going on. And just anything, just being now a teacher's aide now, it's a different kind of role, and just having so much gratitude of where I am right now. But I'm just like, they just need help. Like, anything I can do. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
So, like, I spent one day just delivering books to everybody, delivering all these big books,
There you go.
like doing bulletin boards. Like, it's little stuff like that. And so I think class lists really are probably pretty minor and at the bottom of the food chain for the worries that teachers do have. But I mean, all praise be to all the teachers out there, because it's rough and
It's a lot.
they're doing a great job. So keep it up. Bring on the Ziploc bags. Bring on the Starbucks coffee, that Diet Coke, that random lunch. You know, those Target gift cards, I think, is what continued to keep me going. So I think same thing with the classroom teacher.
That's a good way to end it. Yeah.